Incredible day, family. Welcome to the Your Perspective Matters podcast. I am your beautiful and amazing host, Ronald. Welcome to another episode where we're literally focusing on personal growth, right? But we focus on uncomfortable conversations that leads to growth. And let me tell you, we've been on a journey, right? These episodes have been very interesting. None to say the least has definitely been something that I believe has challenged me mentally, has challenged me on a realm of consistency and even application, like just being able to apply a lot of the principles that I have and that I've given to you guys, and just being able to be comfortable with sharing my perspective. Before I get into it, I do want to state something very important. This is the 50th episode. Now, I do not say that lightly, right? Cheers to the Your Perspective Matters for getting to the 50th episode. Why am I saying this, right? Can I be transparent, right? I have a lot of information I want to give you, but before I get there, one of the statistics that they state is most podcasters only get to about 5 episodes. After 5 episodes is a done deal. So I've accomplished way more than that, right? Which is a beautiful thing. But what is also interesting is that I've been doing podcasting for 3 years. 3 years. And it has been challenging. Now, can I get even more real, right? And I want to give you some numbers or just plant a little bit of numbers in your head. If you are a podcaster and you are consistently recording one episode per week for a whole entire year, you should be ending with anywhere from 48 to about 52 episodes in 1 year. So I say all that to say, and I'm making myself uncomfortable, right? That I only have 50 episodes, and starting with this one, right? Makes 50. I have 50 episodes in 3 years. I say all that to challenge myself to be a lot more consistent because I owe it to you. I owe it to the viewer to be better, and I owe it to myself to make sure that I prove to myself I can do this. And a part of it is the synopsis of this conversation. Oh man, I've been wanting to have this conversation for a minute. And it's just been life and work, been working. Just been tired, a lot of spiritual things, and then there's a lot of the work as far as the conventions has been very tiring, right? So I've been working long hours, extra days, all of those sorts of things. Um, and the principle behind all of that is, which is the title of this message, you got to believe bigger. You got to believe bigger, right? So here's the thing, right? I've been doing some research. I've been doing some studying. I've been talking to some people. I've been having some beautiful conversations and life-changing conversations at that. And one thing that I notice is a common denominator. And the common denominator is, what is the issue or the problem that stops people from accomplishing their goals? People set goals, people got a whole bunch of things going on, they got a vision for themselves, but what is stopping them? And one of the interesting things that I realized is, as simple as we can be, belief. Belief is what stops people from achieving, is what stops people from being successful. Can you believe that? I would not be here. I wouldn't have even started this episode, let alone continued with the podcast, let alone have started the podcast to begin with, had I not believed in myself. So all starts with belief, right? And we know, most of us know the scriptures or whatnot about faith, but I have one specifically that I want to direct your attention to, and it's Hebrews chapter 11, excuse me, verse 6, coming from the New King James Version, right, the NKJV, and it says, "And without faith, it is impossible to please God." Because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who diligently seek him. What does that mean, right? In my own terms, if you don't have faith, right, we claim that we love God, we honor God, we praise God, we worship God, we honor all the things about God, but we don't even believe in trying to move mountains by pleasing God, right? You will never be able to be pleasing or satisfying to Him if you don't have faith, right? If you don't got faith, this is the foundation of it, right? One of the things that I tell a lot of my students and a lot of just other general people that I mentor is most people, including especially wealthy people at that, will tell you that it's a belief problem. So it's not that you're not capable of doing a thing. You don't believe that you can do a thing. That's literally what stops us most times, right? But when we look at that scripture, when we think about that thought, there's some more. I want to break some paradigms, or I want to expand somebody's idea around this, that you cannot just stop with that scripture of just it's impossible to please God without faith. I want to give you a more foundational aspect of adding another scripture, which is James chapter 2, verse 17 in the NIV, the New International Version. And it says, "In the same, faith by itself," hello, somebody, is if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. Let me say that again. In the same, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. So, if we understand that the foundation or the core of pleasing God is faith, you have to make sure that your faith is not just it's not just a faith or action. It's a faith and action. Action fuels faith, faith fuels action, right? That's very, very, very important. Now, faith without works obviously is dead, but faith without works leads to empty and void promises. You'll be creating these narratives of trying to promise somebody something that have no substance whatsoever, right? So, I'm gonna give you 3 quick points and then I'm gonna move forward, right? Faith has to be proven and validated by test. What they say, a faith not tested can't be trusted. So I can't trust you if what you are saying to me, I can't test it with the situation. It's gotta be tested. There has to be something that challenges your faith. There has to be something that can say, okay, you are telling me that you love me, but I'm not being obedient to you, or maybe I don't love you back, or maybe I'm doing something that irks your nerves. If that's true, do you still love me even though those things are happening? Your faith is being tested, right? Your word, your ideology is being tested, and it cannot be proven or validated unless you go through the test. There's people, it's unfortunate, and I've been there before, where we avoid the test. I prefer not to go through the circumstance. I prefer not to go through these situations because it's just too much. It's all the extra. But the fact of the matter is the test was there to prove something and to cultivate your growth. It was there to help you, not to hinder you. Second thing is faith must produce something. If your faith is not producing something, that's a huge red flag. It's like 3 red flags, literally. That means that you're not. There's nothing that you can build on when it comes to your faith. Your faith is literally now a shaky foundation. Do you want to build a house on something that's shaky? Not at all, because it will not stand, right? The third point is, and I'm moving fast because I got, some things that I need to do on the podcast side. And I got an event to go to. Um, so faith moves you and doesn't stagnate you. If you are not moving, then it is not faith. You cannot say, hey, I believe God, or I believe in general that I'm going to go to the next level, or even better, I believe that I'm going to own a house. It is not faith if you don't do things that is moving you towards owning a house. We can complain, oh no, I got all these bills, I don't like the area that I live in, it's too far, or I don't got all the sorts of things to make my living situation happy. But if you're not moving towards something, then do you really believe that you're going to get the house? If I don't get my finances in order, or if I'm not even bothered by trying to get my finances in order, is it really that I believe that I'm going to get the thing? Absolutely not, right? It Faith moves you. It's literally a movement. It's literally the enabler to be able to go towards something, right? And I had to ask myself a question. What most people, or this is rather a statement, what most people don't realize is faith is, oh my God. I'm sorry. Me reading this to myself, even before I said it, it stirs something up, right? Watch this. What most people don't realize is faith is an offering to the world and fuel to the purpose in your life. My goodness. Oh my God. Just hearing it again is good, right? Faith, what most people don't realize is faith is an offering to the world and fuel to the purpose in your life, right? If I can break this up really quickly, when it comes to faith being an offering to the world, faith is in a sense what you give people, what you can. I have this offering that I can give you. Why? Because there are people that are in certain situations and seasons where they don't have faith. Their faith is not cultivated, their faith is not growing, they have limited belief, they have a skeptical, that it's all of the things is giving red flag, right, when it comes to faith. But what happens is when they get connected to you, they get to borrow what you have to offer. I don't know if you've heard that term before, where if you don't have faith, borrow it from someone else. That's why it's important, and I'll get to it even more when it comes to environment, that it's important of the people that you're around that they believe higher than you. Because if I don't, then guess what happens? I'm going to adopt their belief. Therefore, I'm essentially borrowing disbelief. How crazy is that? I want to believe bigger, but the people that I'm around don't even believe past getting a degree. They don't even believe in themselves as far as even the skill set that they got. They don't think it's going to get them far. They don't think they're going to make money. They don't think all the things. And guess what? You're going to get that, right? And then on the other side of it is it's fueled to your purpose. What happens is as you go through situations, I believe your purpose is revealed through circumstances that you go through. And because of that, it builds a level of faith that you must have to continuously carry out the purpose that's within you. Had it not been for my faith to be cultivated early on in my life, I would not believe, number one, that I could speak to you. Yes, this is pre-recorded, but it is still, I wouldn't have even had the audacity to say, you know what, I can create a podcast or I can create an episode about speaking about bigger faith, right? There's been circumstances where I had to make sacrifices and I had to make life-changing decisions based upon the fact that I had the faith within myself. It was literally the fuel that pushed me to do the things. So the synopsis or the core of this is that it's not just that we stop at believing in a thing, or it's not that we stop at having faith, but in this season, I want you to repeat after me, I gotta have bigger faith. I got to have bigger faith, right? That is the focus. So what does that mean? I could have done some more research and all of the things, but I wanted to honestly give you an interesting perspective on what believing bigger means, right? Here it is. Believing bigger is to go beyond your current or society's normal expectations. To believe bigger means to go beyond your current or society's normal expectations. Oh man. Because when it comes to believing beyond your current expectations, the people, our environment, and I'm gonna probably keep saying this, our environment, or one of the things that shapes our belief is our environment, right? So it creates the expectation of, if I see it done visually, if I've seen it done, excuse me, all these years or during this time frame, then that's the expectation that if I do it, that's what's going to happen to me. If I see that my mom is in a relationship with my dad, but my dad continues to cheat, or vice versa, my mom continues to cheat on my dad, that doesn't make me want to be in a relationship or even marriage, because I'm still getting cheated on. So what's the point? Now I have expectations, but believing bigger is going beyond that, right? Going and sometimes believing bigger, when it comes to going beyond your current expectations, is to create a new one sometimes. Okay, my current expectations is that I'm going to get cheated when I get married, but believing bigger is that won't happen to me. It ends, that cycle ends with me. It no longer, what they say, it runs into my family until it's been running in my family until it ran into me. Like, can we declare that today, that it stops with me? And that's, oh my God, I feel that in my soul right now. The poverty issues, the relational issues, the believing less stops with me. It stops, it no longer runs in my family. It's running out of, I'm running it out. It's no longer it's being evicted from my life, from my family bloodline. Now everything that I produce, my offsprings, it's not gonna have that belief. Not at all. Not on my watch, right? Um, so a workless faith leads to false expectation, right? A workless faith leads to false expectation. How do you cultivate believing bigger? Number one, to cultivate believing bigger, you have to gain clarity of where you are going. You have to gain clarity of where you are going. It doesn't make sense for you to be able to believe bigger if there's no specific direction, right? And how do you do these things, right? You want to have structure, you want to put things in place, organize the things. You want to start writing down goals, or better yet, even deeper. Let's start with, I'll need you to write a list of all the things that you like and you don't like. This is hard for many people. Oh man. Because when I ask people to do something as simple as what do you like and what you don't like, many people say, I don't know what I like. But you are actually quicker to state what you don't like. Mm. That's why we got to grow. That's what I'm here for. We're having this uncomfortable conversation because I want you to grow. I want you to find these things. As you find out what you like and what you don't like, the next part of the list is write a list of the things that you desire to have. Like, there must be a future to this, because your likes, your desires, your wants changes over time, especially when you start to acquire or accomplish certain goals. If my one of my desires to have something was to, let's just say I desire to have $100,000. By the time you get to, by the time I get $100,000, the goal changes. Now I want 1 million, and so on and so forth. Or maybe I want $100,000 in 6 months' time. Or maybe I want $100,000 in a month's time. Like, it changes as you grow. It changes as you live. I promise you, if you live long enough, you'll realize how many changes or how many phases you have had. The second thing that allows you to cultivate believing bigger is to build confidence. To oh, no, we want to go back. Continuing on gaining clarity of where you are going. Not only do you have structure, what helps you build structure is guidance and mentorship. And that is probably the most effective way to be able to have direction, is following somebody that's done it before and becoming a student that have that value. I am a freaking sponge. I don't soak up everything, but I soak up what I need to soak up. That's like very important. I'm able to decipher, okay, this is what is conducive to my life. This is what's beneficial to my circumstances. This is what's cultivating my faith. I'm taking that. And all these other things, I spit out those bones. I'm good on it, right? But mentorship helps you to gain wisdom. Mentorship helps you to find out, okay, this is not the right path, or this is an expectation that if you go down this path, these are some things that potentially can happen. Because sometimes we just don't know that things will happen to us, right? Going back to it, the second thing is to build confidence to do something better than the ability you are currently doing it in, right? And how do you do that? You do that by being consistent and repetitive with it, because you can't gain confidence if you don't do a thing, right? So consistency and repetition. Then you have persistence, right? Cool that you're doing it consistently, but then there may come a time, like for an example, the podcasting, where I've done this consistently for some time and then I stopped because life was lifing. But if I don't persist, if I don't push through, then my consistency stops. And then I can't go further, right? And then what also helps build your confidence, better than what your ability is able to do it in currently, is also destination. Remember, I was talking about clarity, right? Clarity helps you to gain direction. My direction leads to my destination. Now I'm able to, okay, I see where I'm going, but this is where I want to go. Or this is where, this is what would lead me this place if I continuously go down this route. So it helps you to make better decisions. Lastly, my third point for how to cultivate believing bigger is to have a desire for more. Mm, mm, mm. One of the huge parts about having a bigger desire or having a desire for more is purpose. When you go through your circumstance and now your circumstance reveals what your purpose is, you want more. You want to be able to do more, you want to be able to impact more, you want to be able to do things in a way where it's now purposeful and meaningful and not pointless, right? And then growth. Hey, I'm doing things, I'm focused on my purpose, but I can't be stagnant. I can't be bound or limited to what I know now. I have the responsibility to be able to go higher if I want to do it at an excellent level, right? And then lastly, which is my favorite, is failure. Um, I truly believe that as you fail, like my guy John C. Maxwell states in his book, you want to fail forward, you want to fail fast, you want to fail first, and you want to fail frequently. I love that guy, man. He's so amazing. But that's literally the seed to be able to have a desire for more, right? What influences your bigger belief? Two specific things is your environment. So literally, like, even in the place that I'm living in right now, it it kind of like, I don't want to say kind of, it many times limits me wanting to do more. It stops my creativity because of literally the place that I'm living at and the area that I'm at. It's just like it's not exciting to come to. Obviously, where you live at, you want to create it to be like a nice home or whatnot. But the focus is, hey, I need to get out of this place so I can believe more. When I was in New York, when I used to live in New York, it was all that I could ever dream of. But then I had to realize me staying here was limiting my growth. And I did not want that at all. I wanted to believe bigger because my conversation with people every day was, you got to believe bigger. So I need to be a student to that. I need to be an example of that. So I had to leave. Then there were people, right? You become a product of who you are around. You adopt the habits and belief of who is around you, which also, thirdly, shapes your perspective. Now, because they see it this way, and I hear it often from these specific people, I'm going to have this perspective. When I used to do network marketing, my very first network marketing company, it allowed me to realize that 10,000 a month is actually very doable. Once I got that new, fresh perspective, I could not see money differently. I mean, I could not see money the same. It was a whole different belief system. It influenced me still till this day. People look at me crazy, like, why do you believe? Oh man, if you only knew what I knew. And then what also influences your belief to be bigger is your voice. What are you saying? Like, what is your language? We literally cancel out the expectations, the the productivity, the growth. Like, we limit all these things because of our daily language. Fix your language. It's not that you can't do something, it's that I just may not be able to do it in this moment. Or maybe I just honestly don't want to do it. Fix your language. I'm able to do it. I'm more than able. I'm going to get over this situation. I'm going to conquer this situation. I have the money. It's just delayed. I'm going in the right direction. It's just a detour. Like, you have to be able to change your daily language. Your daily language leads to thoughts. What you speak, you listen to, and what you listen to comes into your head, which creates certain thoughts. And those thoughts leads to your action. Remember, we talked about faith without works, without action is dead, is pointless. So if I shape my voice, I now have better thoughts, which now has better actions, right? This is good. This is so much good stuff. Um, and I want to make you aware that I want to make you aware of four specific things that's very powerful. Number one, when I'm talking about the problems of not believing bigger, mm, write this down. Number one is comfortability of what you already have. You will not obtain more. You will not go to a higher level if you are okay with where you are at now. If you are someone that is getting abused and you don't want more, or you're comfortable where you are at, and man, that's deep, right? I could go deeper, but I can do that on another podcast. But even abuse shapes comfortability. Oh man, which makes you stay in that area. Number two, right? Um, the second problem of believing bigger is bound to your current ability. So as I'm comfortable with things, I also remain stuck in the level of what I'm able to do and my performance. I can't produce better. I'm just going to produce this way. If I can just do it this way, I'm cool with it. I settle for it, which limits my ability. And there's so many people I'm pretty sure that knows, hey, you can do more, but you don't. You're stuck because you're not trying to believe bigger. Number three, the problem of not believing bigger is you become content with playing small. I'm no longer, or I'm not adventurous. I'm not spontaneous. I'm not optimistic. I just settle for, okay. I don't want to have $1 million. I'm cool with just having a couple $100 in my bank account. No, you serve an abundant God, or you are loved by an abundant God. Why would you settle for far less than what He is able? And in some of our lives, He promises us substantial wealth. Why would I limit myself? That's being disrespectful to your creator. That's not honoring the whole reason why, or part of the reason why you go through what you're going through, right? You play small. And then the fourth problem of not believing bigger is you lead others do to not do more, or to not do anything at all. Now, not only are you stopping your growth, but you're stopping others. Your influence of not believing bigger is approving, hey, my brother, my sister, my friend, my auntie, my wife, my whoever, my spouse, it's okay for you to do nothing. You'll be fine here. And I come against every single spirit, every single thought that approves that that's okay. And that is not. Because if you're promised more, or if one of the situations that you face is that you've lacked so much your entire life, why can't you have abundance? Why can't it not be differently? I speak abundance in your life. I speak prosperity in your life. I speak more in your life. I speak double in your life, because there is no reason why you don't. Oh man, I'm about to really like go in, but there is so much more that you need to understand and be aware of that you can have. So much more. And I gotta move because this is really stirring me up. But the impact on believing bigger in my life has done four specific things, and then I'm gonna close it out with the quote, right? The first thing is I got better and a closer relationship with God. Literally at the age of 15 was where I started to take ownership of my own faith for my own self. And it was those continuous Sundays, those continuous days of me hearing all the things that I hear in church and then believing it for myself. And then I had to fight with my own thoughts, but even fight with my parents of how they believe. Like, there's no way you can tell me that we go to church and serve a God every Sunday that is okay with your limiting belief. There's no way, because nothing in his word reflects that. How is he a perfect God, but he can't perfectly cover you? He can't perfectly provide for you. He can't protect. Like, what are we doing? Right? Like, I had to, it was just such a beautiful transition of my growth, and I'm able to believe God for myself. I'm able to have a relationship for myself because everything stirs from that. It stirs from him, right? Number two is opportunities that I never expected has opened up for me. The opportunity of um, trading in a market that I knew nothing about. The opportunity of living on my own in multiple states, not just one. The opportunity to even job wise, like even the job that I have now was given to me. Had I not believed and carried this faith from when it started in New York, had I not carried this faith, I would not have been able to do the things, like everything that I've done in Vegas was simply not off of me knowing how to do it, but off of faith. I just believe that I can do it, literally. Which brings me to my next point, that it gave me a feeling of overcoming everything that I faced. So the times that I was homeless, the times that I had heartbreak, the times that I got denied from jobs, the times that I attempted to start a business and it just was not working. Like, even times where I've added people to my podcast and things just unfortunately didn't work out the way I wanted it to. That faith and believing bigger allowed me to it allowed me to overcome those things. So I just become living a life of just being fearless, which is so amazing. Am I saying I'm perfect? No. But it just gives me this confidence of being able to, hey, oh, that's another situation. Cool. I'm gonna conquer it. There's nothing in this world that I can't conquer. Nothing. Nothing. That's just, I don't know, it's just how I believe. I don't know. And here I am wanting to offer this to the world, a fearless confidence. Here's my faith. If you need to borrow it on today, by all means, give back. Nah. Um, but and lastly, number four is I began to operate freely in who I am currently and who I am becoming. Like, I found joy in this current situation of who I am as a person, even who I've overcome to be, but now who I am moving towards becoming. which is so amazing. And sometimes the future you scares you. So you be content with, but if you believe bigger, it's just a reassurance, it's just a reminder where you're going. I'm grateful for where I'm at. I enjoy the person of who I am, my imperfections, as well as the things that make me great. But I know that I'm moving forward, and that is the purpose. That is the goal. That is the reasoning for many things. And I want to go so deeper. Oh my God, but I can't. I don't got time. So we're gonna have to conclude this, and we'll go to another episode, and I'll definitely dive deeper in believing bigger. But I want to end with this quote, right? It says, "The only limits that truly exist are the ones you place on yourself." So no limits in this world is true unless you make it true. Family, this has been an amazing time on the Your Perspective Matters podcast. We appreciate you for being able to hear my insight, hear my perspective, hear my point of view on believing bigger. I believe that it starts with belief, but it moves to expanding that belief. Family, I'll see you on the next episode because your perspective matters.